It is Thursday, the 28th of January 2021. It is a lovely day. There's a fair amount of fog about, but it is just really beautiful and peaceful. Out here, yeah, the traffic's going up and down the road, but just the birds and the mist just really give a sense of peace in amongst everything that's going on. This week I've been thinking a lot about language, about hate, about the language of hate that we find so much on social media. We find being spoken about emotive subjects like the death penalty in America, or immigration, or abortion. And what's been particularly concerning for me is the language that has been used by people who are followers of Jesus, people who say that they're followers of Jesus. And I wonder, well, I don't wonder, I know whether there is a place for that kind of language amongst Christians. See, in John's first letter, in 1 John chapter 4, the apostle writes and tells us that God is love. That the God that we worship is a God of love. And so surely the language of the follower of Jesus must be a language of love. Not a language of hate, not a language of condemnation, not a language of judgment, but a language of love. In John 13 verse 35, Jesus says to his disciples that by our love, by your love, they will know that you are my disciples. By our love, people will know that we are followers of Jesus. And what he's saying there is that our love must reflect his love, must reflect who he is. What that also means is that when people look at Christians and the way that we love, they should be able to form an opinion and an understanding of who Jesus is. And when you hear some of the words that come out of the mouths of people who proclaim to be Christians, does it point to the love of Jesus? Does it create an accurate picture of who Jesus is? And if people are forming their opinions of who Jesus is based on the way that Christians love, is it little wonder why so many people decide that they don't want to be a follower of Jesus, why they turn away from being followers of Jesus, if that is the love that we are reflecting out into the world. Now I know that Scripture tells us that we are called to correct one another when we go astray, that when we do things wrong, we need to point it out to people, but it also tells us that we must build one another up. So even when we are correcting people, it still needs to be done with the language of love. We can't be telling people things are unforgivable, or we can never forgive them for it. We cannot constantly be pointing out people's faults and the things that they're doing wrong and dismissing them for it. We are people of love. We worship a God of love, and so our language has to be a language of love. We have to do better than we're doing at the moment. Love one another as I have loved you, that's what Jesus says. And by this people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. I think there's nothing I can add to what Jesus has said. So let's love one another. Let's speak words of love to one another. God bless and take care.